Hello, Mr. Morrison. My name is John. I'm a friend of your son, Mark. We play pool together. He's a really good guy. I'm glad that I met him. And I'm glad that he sanctioned me to make this video for you. What you see here might look like a plain old house, but this is actually William Woodworth Q Shop. And here's where the magic happens. All right, Mr. Morrison, this is William Woodworth. This is a custom cue maker. Everyone in the pool hall's best friend. He will be making your cues. These are the inlays for your cues. These are the points.
These are the short points, okay, and then I've cut the inlays that go in them so that they'll go and they'll look like this when they go in. See here?
What are the inlays made of?
These are white turquoise.
And the wood?
Is the wood is leopard wood.
Leopard wood. It's made out of an animal.
No.
Oh, sorry. I guess it has spots or something.
It's because of the grain. See, it looks
The
like
grain.
a leopard's grain.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's called leopard wood. But I'm trying to show you how the points, I've already worked on these and sanded some of them, so you can see how the points are going into this.
Sure.
Now, if you'll come over here, I'm going to take, and I have, this is the start. I take pieces of wood like this, I put them in the CNC, and then I do what is called nesting. In other words, get the most amount of parts out of the smallest amount of wood. So now we're going to take this, come over here, John.
I'm coming.
Okay, I'm going to start this up, but on my dust collection system. Here we're going to do this. I'm going to show you how the parts will come out. These down, so now we can take the parts.
How does sanding them down make them pop out?
Because it was solid wood on the back, it only cut down so deep.
Oh, so that when you take off a layer,
the back, then I can pull the parts out individually. Like
hear
I'm
that,
doing
people?
right now.
That's proprietary techniques.
And there,
You saw it here
4
first.
of the 8 points. Now here, okay. So now here we'll take these out of here. And there, you now have all the long points. See, this is what's left over when I cut out of that piece of wood.
That's done, right?
Yeah. Okay, so now
Poor leopard.
These points here are cocobolo.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do the same thing that we did over here.
Are you going to alternate them or something?
Except that, no, now we have to sand them to make sure that they go in right. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to take here. And see, there's like a film on there, and I have to sand them to clean them up. See it?
Yeah.
Okay? And then I'll take go here, make sure that this is all set. Okay, and we get these right, and then they're going to have to be sanded once we cut the points into the cubes.
Can you tell me more about the butt or the bottom or the butts over there?
These butts, well, we're going to, in a few minutes,
Okay.
we're going to put these in the CNC.
These are the matching cues for the Morrisons, right?
Right, these two right
So
here.
tell me about them.
All right.
From the bottom.
Well, he had asked for a natural brown linen ring butt cap, and then he had asked for a cocobolo and maple check ring, and then another natural brown linen ring on top of that. the butt sleeve right here is bird's eye maple and another natural brown linen ring. And then this, the handle area is Liptus. Up here is bird's eye maple with another natural brown linen ring, cocobolo and maple check ring, natural brown linen, and an aegis joint.
So even though it looks simple, there's like how many different woods in there?
Oh,
and materials? 8 to 10?
Oh, there's at least about 10 checks in each of these rings here, and all the checks down here. So you have about 30 checks just in the ring sets.
What does checks mean?
Right here. This means the check is the cocobolo.
Okay.
Okay, I have a picture that shows you.
Like checker?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is what the ring looks like before it goes on there.
Okay.
See how the wood is cut in? And that's what we call the check.
And then you fill it in with the other little cubes?
The cocobolo fits into a piece of maple and it's got grooves cut in it. And I have to sand all of those to make the ring set.
What makes it sit? Glue?
Yeah, it's all glued in with the West system.
That's really cool.
24-hour epoxy.
Cool, cool.
Okay. Now here are some more of the inlays.
Yes.
That are going to go with the lung points. Okay, so
how many points per cube?
8 points.
Okay.
And we need to make sure that these are all going to fit good. And here. So you have to come in here and handle them and make sure all these points are going to fit. Right now these butts are cut at 20 thousandths oversized. And then I'm going to cut the pockets for the points that are going to go in the cube. And then when I get all done, then I'll cut off, I'll set a depth of 10 thousandths more than what the cube is already cut. And then I'll clean up all the points.
So you're changing bits. This is a cutting bit, right? And that's going to cut out.
That's an 1/8 inch bit.
And that's going to cut out the
first part of the pocket.
The pocket for the points. How'd you know where to stop that? Just by eyeballing it? He's pointing to his head, everyone.
This way.
What are you doing there?
I'm finding.
Oh, you're just getting it.
Just touches like right there.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Now that I have that, I'm where I want. I'm centered this way. Now I'm going to find my file. Are you about ready?
I'm ready.
That's going to go up. It's going to go there. I'm going to turn this on. make sure it's nice and clear for the point. There's a lot of stuff that takes a lot longer than people think to do this stuff.
It's ridiculous how long it takes to do this. It is. Now I understand why they cost so much. How'd they do inlays before CNC machines?
By hand.
By hand.
Yep.
And how'd they get them to be straight? Huh?
And pantographs.
Catagraphs.
Pantographs.
What is that?
It's a machine that you cut a pattern by hand,
Mm-hmm.
and then you follow that with a stylus around like this, and it cuts it at a different size.
Oh, okay.
So now we'll take in the short sub point and we'll put that in there like that.
And it perfectly fits because the machine cut a perfect pocket for it, right?
Uh-huh. And then this
It
one.
sticks out a little though. Would that'll get sanded down or evened out or whatever?
Well,
Oh, you say
when I cut the next, remember I told you I cut it 20 thousandths over?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? So
What
when
did
I
you
glue
cut?
these in,
Yeah.
and it sticks out, then when I make the next pass, it cleans it up.
Yeah, yeah. It makes it all
Perfect.
flush.
Right. So then you do this and come in with this
Look how perfectly that fits in there.
and do that. Okay, and then we'll come around.
Look how perfectly that fits in there.
Okay, I'll do that.
That is too cool, Woody. Tell you what, guys, you got to be geared a certain way to be a pool cue maker because this is very detailed, orientated work. You need high precision tools. You need a lot of tools, and you need a lot of knowledge. And I'm sure the learning curve is ridiculous.
So you start to see what's taking place,
I do.
and then this will go in between, see? Get that fit in there.
So how'd you know it would hold 8 points exactly? You measured the circumference?
No.
No, then how do you know?
Well, because you just measure it every so many degrees. It's every 45 degrees to get 8 points.
Every 45 degrees.
Yep.
That's not circumference.
No.
45 degrees of what?
45 degrees of the circumference. Every 45 degrees on a circle
Is a
you
quarter
cut
of the
point
is
in
a
there.
quarter of the way,
Now
isn't
you
it?
see the cocobolo points and the leopard wood points are the shorter ones.
Oh.
Are the 7-inch. Now I need to sand down the white turquoise
Mm-hmm.
to go in the cocobolo points
Okay.
because they're all in there. Now,
So then you'll glue them, let them
and
set.
then they'll get all glued up. Right
Yeah.
now, I'll put a clamp around this.
Yeah.
And then that'll sit overnight for a day or two,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll start to cut it down to the final pass.
Okay.
And then I'll take and I'll put it in the pan. I'll get the butt ready. I'll drill that all out and have it all set for the rubber bumper. And so there, now I just need to glue this up.
Glue it, and then I'm gonna come back when you do the initials in here.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. What else should we know for today?
Which I'll write the programming for it and test it on those pieces you were looking at
Okay.
before I put them in the queue. And then when I do it, I'll cut them and I'll engrave it. And then I'll come back and I'll sand it down a little bit, blow it out, and then I'll mix up some epoxy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll put that epoxy in on the letters for the engraving.
Sure.
And then I will dye the letters inside the epoxy
Oh, you dye them while they're in the queue.
while they're in the queue.
Cool.
Okay, so there is what it looks like to have the points done.
That's beautiful. What color linen are they getting?
Oh, he gets white with brown speck.
White with brown speck. If I got a white linen wrap, it would turn black in like a week.
I seal it so it doesn't get dirty.
Oh, really? Cool.
So now, that's what it looks like with just the pockets cut.
Sure.
And then you see the inlays with the white turquoise diamonds that go in it. So next time you see this, it'll be cut down,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be ready to put the initials on the back. I'll have the pin in it. I'll do the butt, and then I'll start doing the ferrules on the two shafts.
All right, and I'll be back for that.
Cube completely built. Okay, we've got all the points in it, we've got all the inlays in it, and I sprayed it for the first time so that when I start to put the engravings in here for the letters for Mark Morrison and for his father Jim, I guess it's Jim.
Yeah, Jim Morrison, just like the singer.
Okay, and then I've written the programs to engrave that, and I also did a moose head for him that he asked for.
A moose head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I drew, and he better like it.
What are you doing here?
Right now we're sanding off some of the finish to get it smooth so I can respray the cube. I have to go at least 6 to 7 sprays.
So you sprayed it with clear coat, now you're taking off some of the clear coat, and you're going to add like 5 or more layers of clear coat. Is that right?
I'm going to add 6 or 7.
6 or 7 layers of clear coat. Do you clear coat the whole shaft?
No, just the first.
Now what do you do with
inches.
the remainder? Do you put like conditioner or something on it?
Well, this here is bare wood. That's what you shoot with.
Oh, you shoot with bare wood.
Yes, but you seal it.
With?
A sealer.
Oh, you do that though.
Yeah.
Okay. So it still has something on it. It's not just raw
no,
wood.
It's not raw wood. Okay. Anyway, this is mineral spirit that I'm just cleaning off any dust from the shaft.
Mineral spirits, like paint thinner, kind of.
Yeah.
Is that the exact same thing?
Same thing.
Okay.
That,
You just call it. You just use the old name.
paint thinner, mineral spirit.
Yes, sir. Do you still call margarine oleo?
No, I don't. Maybe you do.
Did you ever call margarine oleo? Clear coat's looking pretty thick on those butts. It's supposed to though, right? Like it's really standing out. You can see the texture and everything.
This is to smooth it out. You don't want any bumps or anything in it when you put it back in the finisher. See, he asked for a 3/8 10 pin. That's why this is done this way. Normally, I would have a radial pin in it.
Radial?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
that's a radial pin.
What's the difference?
Well,
Show that again because I didn't catch it.
Okay. One is a V thread, which is the 3/8 10, and the radial. See it comes down in like a wave. It comes up to a point, rounded at the bottom up to a point, and see the difference is on a 3/8 10 pin, it only holds on the back side of the thread when you screw it in.
Okay.
With a radial, it holds all the way around.
Okay. I hope you understood that, Mr. Morrison.
He might not.
Hey. Just here to document. Now the butts are going on there?
Hand down so that I can. What's happened is I put a 2 sprays on this cue, and the reason is so that the bird's eye maple down here, okay, has a finish on it. So when I do the engraving, and I put the the block epoxy in the engraving, that it doesn't bleed over into the sides of the wood,
Okay.
so it stays sharp.
So it won't be absorbed by the grains.
Right. Put your hand on that, feel. Right here. See how rough that is?
Yeah.
That's why we sand the finish down before we spray it to even out the clear coat. Because the smoother the surface is, when we go to respray, well then the nicer it's going to come out and you get a nice even coat on it.
See, to me all this looks scary because it looks like you took a beautiful, glossy, nice cue and then scuffed it up.
Yeah.
But I understand that's the process.
Yeah. See how you get, like, see in bird's eye maple, see how you get that little stuff in there?
Yeah.
So that when you're sanding it down, I have to get that roughness. I have to fill all that in.
Oh. See? Oh, so those are like divots that are filling up with
See the
sawdust.
divots? Right, from when I'm sanding, it's the...
So the reason you put on 7 layers to make sure all imperfections are...
Right, to even out the coat. So
Right.
that you get a glassy like look.
So it's like it's like almost like a force field barrier. Pretty cool. I see why you got to keep redoing it over and over.
Well, that's right, especially bird's eye. There's certain grains that the grains themselves are rougher.
Doesn't the paint thinner take some more coat off? You're not using enough for it to do
Paint
that.
thinner does not take any of that off.
What does it do?
It helps, it cleans out the grains. You'll see here in a second.
Okay.
Just wait till I see. All I'm doing is prepping this to do the engraving. Yeah, I wanted a coat of finish on here, so that, now watch. That helps to clean it up. Now watch when I put the mineral spirits on it.
It's my favorite part. Like it's all glossy again.
Clean it up so when it goes back to the finish line, it's not glossy, but
In comparison.
it's clean.
Yeah, clean.
Okay, so now we have this cube prepared
For engraving? All
We
right.
have the 2 shafts ready to go to the finish room. We've got 1 butt ready. We're going to do the other now.
Yes, sir.
If you want, you don't have to take this because it's a repeat of that.
Hey, will you stop that real quick? I didn't really catch your signature before. Spin it around your signature there. There it is. 10, 20. Go a little bit this way. There you go. Look at that. That's pretty cool. All right, sir. Carry on.
Get in here to programs. Okay, and here in programs, I'm looking for a certain something. I'm looking for the M, L, M, MN, right here. It's a program I've already written. and
So you
tested.
wrote the initials, the program for the initials.
Yes.
All right.
And what I did, okay, you might want to see this here. Okay. Now right here is where I wrote the program to cut MM in here.
And this is where you practiced?
Yeah.
And this is what it's actually going to look like? Sorry.
Yeah. There's the JM,
Oh, I see it now.
and there's the MM for Mark Morrison.
That's really nice font. Now, is that a font or you just drew that yourself?
Well, it's a font that I had picked to give him, because when he looked at the other cue, it had that certain style of font.
And this is
So
what he
that's
liked?
what he wanted.
That's beautiful.
So isn't that pretty?
It is, very.
Okay.
And what color are you
Now
going to do?
right here, there's the moose head.
Oh, the moose.
There's the moose head right there that I've already
So this
done.
is just a rough practice cut.
Well, yeah, you have to check to make sure it's going to cut right.
Sure.
You can't just slap it on the cue, and then if it don't go right, now you got to rebuild the whole cue.
Yes, sir.
So, look good?
Yes, it looks beautiful. If you like moose.
Well, he asked me to do him a favor, and if I could, put a moose head on.
On
So
the
he's
moose,
getting
on the-
JM on one side and the moose head on the other.
Is Mark going to get a moose?
No.
You should give Mark a maple leaf. Surprise him.
I'll give him something. Okay, so now we have to center this because I have these engravings centered. So now what I want to have to do is get in here and I have to center it. As you see, we've got the MM cut.
Yep.
Now he wanted it 180 degrees from there, so I'm going to roll this over fast and do 180 degrees. So if you watch right here,
You mean you're gonna put the initials on the other side too?
Correct.
Two-part something.
That's the resin.
Resin.
I'm gonna add.
Some color to it.
You have to mix this in before you add the hardener.
Oh, it's that fast? It works that fast, or?
Mm-hmm. This is 5 minutes. It don't take long.
Epoxy, so it's a two-part glue that's dyed.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want this to be too watery.
And you have all different colors you can use, I'm assuming? Dyes and...
Well, I have different, yeah, it depends on which dye I want to put in.
So if I want my initials in one black, one white, I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sky's the limit, huh?
No. But
I can have diamond-crusted letters?
you ain't getting nothing. Okay, there's the moose head.
Moose head.
So now we're gonna
How cool is that, people? Talk about proprietary stuff. Stuff does dry fast. It's getting gooey already, huh? I see some mineral spirits in your future. Am I wrong?
sanding.
Oh, sanding. So you get as much off as you can, and the very thin part you leave, you just sand right off, no problem. Need a good shot of that moose now. Oh, yeah. Oh.
So now we're gonna let that harden up for a while, okay?
Uh-huh.
And then we're gonna take and we're gonna sand it down so you can see it better, and I'll blow it all up. And then it'll be ready to go into the finish room
Yes, sir.
for the next couple of sprays.
Okay. Okay, explain what's going on here.
Okay, here we've put the epoxy in here.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to try and clean it up a little bit. We're going to sand it down a little bit, and then it still has the finish on it. Okay? So that we want that to come out where
So there's some low spots, basically. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah. That's why I put finish on it, so I didn't get all that bleed over and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want this to come out as nice as I can get it.
That'll be nice and dark black, right?
Yeah.
The only reason it's light now is because some of the dust is getting in there.
Here. Let me blow it out and I'll show you. Okay, here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, big difference. That's a big difference. There you go, Mark Morrison. And Mark Morrison. Eminem.
You know, we still got, see, there's a tiny little bit right there yet. We want to get that out of there, see?
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit right there. We want to get that out of there. with that said, I see a hair right there. See it? Clean that up.
All right, it even looks better now. What'd you do to it?
I cleaned it up
With the mineral spirits and blew it out a little bit. Look how nice and clean that is.
Over it.
Cool. How long did it take to draw out that moose? Did you have to draw it, or is it pre-made?
Draw it.
You drew it by yourself?
Yeah.
So it's not just a template you took off the internet or something.
Right.
That must have took some time.
Well, of course it did.
Woody, do you know who Jim Morrison is besides,
Yes, he's a singer. Was a singer.
you know what group he?
No.
The Doors.
Yeah, they were a famous group.
They were pretty famous.
Yeah.
Supposedly he had a 149 IQ.
Oh, almost as high as me.
Almost. What do you got, 161 at this point?
I think I'm about 80.
Get out of here. You're far from an 80 IQ.
Anyway. Okay. See, now you understand why I sprayed it before I went and did all of this?
Of course.
Because now it didn't bleed through.
Gives you
it
a
makes
barrier.
Crisp
Yeah.
edges. See it? See the moose head? Okay, now let me blow it out again so that you can see it.
Beautiful. Absolutely. All right, there they are, side by side, and we're getting ready to go to the paint room, right? Oh, you want to roll them? Go ahead. Roll them over. And there's the MM on the other side for Mark, and then the nice moose head for Pops.
All the local governments.
All right, Woody's taking me to his torture dungeon now. All right, tell me what's going to happen here.
Okay, what's going to happen here is I'm going to get these ready. I'm going to put a lock washer on them.
He puts this washer on them to
Okay.
create a gap between the butt and the shaft so that the clear coat doesn't make them stick together. Correct?
Yeah. See it?
Yeah.
It's got to be undersized so the finish goes right over it.
Oh, I see. You want the finish to go over the edges.
Yeah.
Ah.
Lacquer thinner.
He's taking his spray gun that's
not
just
mineral
sitting in
spirits, but
lacquer
lacquer.
thinner, which is not the same as mineral spirits or oleo. This is just spray over time, right? This right here?
Yep.
Wow, that is stiff as could be.
That there is what I use to catch the overspray so it just doesn't go out into the air.
Right. And then when they get nasty, you just throw them away and replace them. Huh?
Well, I got more filters up there.
Yeah.
It's, you know, when I don't get enough air going through it.
And behind them, too, are fans, exhaust fans, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. And you built that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you say like it's no big deal, but this stuff, people don't just build stuff like this, Wood.
They don't?
Not your average person, no. This box right here you built, right?
Yep.
All this,
Yep.
all this.
Yep.
Can I open it?
Sure.
Look at all this. This guy's like a mad scientist. Except he's not mad.
Just aggravated.
Just aggravated when I come over and annoy him and ask him a million questions. That's how I learn, Wood.
Good.
So this is a little cup right there. That's all the clear coat you need?
That's it's a touch-up gun. It's used for spraying when you're clear coating the car and you want to touch it up.
Oh, I see.
But in this case, it's going to be used for spraying the cube.
Excellent. All right, guys. Woody has now mixed a 2-part clear coat finish. He's loaded it into the gun. Time to grab. Time to turn on the exhaust fans. Everything's got to be noisy. And here we go. First, we're going to start with whose cue here? Mark's. Oh, Never mind, we're putting them both in. Woody ain't messing around. And there they go. See how nice and straight they are? They don't even wobble. That's an optical illusion, I'm assuming, right? Yeah. Alright, he stopped us for 1 minute. He's got a timer set. Look how beautiful that looks. And how many more coats are still going to go on there?
Still another 2 to 4 coats.
Another 2 to 4 coats still going to go on here.
And now, the one for Jim Morrison. And I'm about ready to cut the back apart. Now this is where, see right in here, John, it's all finished.
Let me get in there.
Okay, see, it's all finished.
Yes.
Okay, now you see how there's a channel cut back in here.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to come in here for 23 thousandths.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that I can press the Irish linen at that point, even with the back of the cube.
How do you get the linen to stay there?
I'm going to glue it. You'll see that when I go to put the linen on.
Okay.
See it just touch out? See it just touch? See a little bit of weight? That's the finish. And I'm looking at my measurement here. I'm at 15. So I'm going to go in 10, 23. And then I'm going to go down this way. And I'm slightly turning the handle so it goes down ever so slowly. And that's it. Okay. Now that's one cue. Now we're going to do the other one.
And right from the sanding lathe to the You want to tell them a story about Irish linen? You want me to tell it?
Many years ago.
Go ahead. You're better if you want to.
You can tell this.
No, go ahead.
Many years ago, they had fishing line. The green, it was white with green speck. That's what we used for fishing line.
Which is this right here, right?
In the 30s
right
and
there?
40s. Let me see here. No, that's blue.
Okay. So like that, except green speck.
Right here. That's white with green speck. And so many years ago, they had a whole warehouse of this, Brunswick. And when they come out with the new monofilm line, they said, what are we going to do with all this stuff? Because nobody's buying it.
But before then, that was standard fishing line.
That was the standard fishing
And it wasn't called Irish linen. It was just called fishing line.
Yeah. And so what they did is one of the fellows that worked at Brunswick said, well, instead of just leather wraps that we're putting on the Titleist cues, how about we put the fishing line on it? And then it became
popular.
Irish linen.
Now it's almost standard.
Okay, so we're going to take here. I'll tell you another cute little story, and that is that, do you know Palmer cues?
I don't.
You know how they got their name?
Palmer Q's. Is this thing gonna make a lot of noise? Because if so, you're gonna wait for the story.
No.
Go ahead, Palmer Q's.
Palmer Q's was actually, they were made by Gene Ballner.
Gene Ballmer.
Ballner.
Gene Ballner.
And he liked Arnold Palmer when he played golf.
Uh-huh.
So he named his Q's Palmer Q's.
After Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
Are Palmer Q's nice Q's?
Yeah.
Expensive?
Yes. They are now. Of course, he's no longer with us. But... Okay, so now...
Oh, well, that... Aha. I knew there was a secret, a proprietary secret.
Oh, he loves that word, doesn't he? Okay, so... We're going to take...
I love you, Woody.
Well, thank you. There, we're going to put a little glue on that, okay? And the one we're going to use is this white with brown speck. Okay, this wrap right here.
And that's going to match perfectly with the...
Well, that's what he requested.
Still going to match nice, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
It'll be beautiful on this.
So why are you putting it in that hole?
Just because I like to do that.
Yeah?
Yeah, see.
You got to be a child, huh?
Mm.
So it's like a whole table sewing machine almost.
Well, it's a
provides,
table,
like,
that's
resistance.
just a guide
Yeah.
for this to go through
Sure.
before it comes around and gets to me. Okay? And it's just so it doesn't kink up or get to be a problem putting it in there. Now, I got it started. I pushed that in there. I doubled it over. I'm going to put the toothpick in there and
Break it off.
jam it in and break it off.
Cool.
Okay, then I'm going to take a piece of wood and come in there and flush it. See it?
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to take some glue. Now, of course, you can all use white glue. A lot of guys use, but they come out with this new clear, and I like it because it doesn't do anything when you put in like a black wrap.
So that's basically Elmer's glue like you'd use in school, except the clear version?
Elmer's clear, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But you can use the white too.
The white dries clear, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to, but sometimes it makes a little bit of a problem on a black wrap.
I see.
So I'm just spreading the glue completely over the channel right now. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
There. Now, let me grab a rag here. Wipe my fingers off a little bit. Okay. And you want to get this on there before that glue dries up. So I'm going to start this by hand, coming around to right there. And I usually put in about 3 to 4 lines like that. And I'll mash that in a little bit right there. And I'll take my foot pedal. Start. You ready?
Yep. Wow. You're making it look easy.
It is easy.
Look at that, folks. You didn't drill a hole on that side.
Oh my God.
You know that didn't get on camera.
Who cares?
Are you going to drill a hole on that side?
Yes, I will. See, I left myself about an extra 6 inches of
Look how
line.
beautiful this thing is.
And I come off here. Okay, and I want to take it right there where it's marked. I'm going to take it, drill in. There. I'm going to put a spot of glue on that. Okay, take the other side of the toothpick. excess about there. I'll come in and do this by hand. There. I'm going to take a pick, come in here where I got it marked. See that point coming out on the tape? Tells me my hole's right there. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to push about 1/2 inch of this Irish linen down into the hole like that. See it?
Mm-hmm.
Take the other part of the toothpick, jam it down in there, and break it off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just going to take a razor knife. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to cut off the excess. And I'm going to take this piece of wood and I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to bring that in, bring that right over so now you can see that there's nothing left. Okay. See it? You don't see it? It's right over it.
Can't touch it?
Sure.
Definitely a good grip.
If you feel it, you'll notice that it's like slightly over. Okay.
I guess you could say that. I couldn't feel it, but I'm sure.
Oh, it is. Okay. So with that said, now we're going to take, and here is a mixture of starch and water. It. I'm going to take an old cue ball and I'm going to press it.
Like forcing, flattening it out. That's pretty cool. You know what I want to say? The P word again. Proprietary.
Right. And I come in here with my sophisticated pressing machine.
Sophisticated pressing machine.
2 pieces of oak.
2 pieces of oak. And you're kind of burnishing that now, right?
I'm pressing. See it coming into a shine?
Yeah. Well, isn't that like a burnish almost?
The reason it's shining is because that's the starch. Like when you press a shirt.
Oh, like when you press a shirt. So it's stiffening? Okay.
See how shiny that's getting?
Yes.
Of course, there's a lot of friction there. I'm pressing pretty hard
I can see.
with these 2 pieces. Okay. Now run your hand up and down that cube.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it on camera.
Go up here.
You're trying to hurt me. It feels good. Feels good. Warm.
Okay.
Oh wow. Well, let me record, please. That looks nice. That looks different.
Well, it's not dry yet.
It still looks nice and different.
Sure.
Compared to a second ago.
Mm-hmm. Get a piece here, and I'm gonna put the sealer
Sealer time.
on the wrap.
What does sealer consist of? Oh, more proprietary chemical recipes. So now he has sealed the white linen with brown speck.
White with brown speck.
Wrap.
Mm-hmm.
There's a smell in here.
Yeah.
Polyurethane, maybe.
Nope. And that is the cue.
That's a finished cue now, right?
Yeah.
It's once it dries.
Well, it'll be dry here in about 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes, it's finished.
and then I'll stick the rubber bumper in the end, and guess what? Goes with one of them finished shafts.
It goes with one of these finish shafts.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Morrison, as you see here, Woody has put on the butt caps, or the, what do you call
Bumpers.
it? The rubber bumpers to protect the your butt there. We just watched the linen bee get wrapped on there. You see they're both Woodworth custom cues made on 10/20/19. Is that when they were started, basically?
October 19th. No, it's when I finished them up to where it was time to put the signature at. Before I started spraying,
okay.
The signature is underneath all the finish.
I see. Cool. There's the signature. And there's the joints. And perfectly machined shafts.
Where it's all down to, one's an 11, the other's an 11.5 millimeter.
These are only a 0.5 millimeter difference. There we go. Come outside to get some better footage. Can you position it so you can see the moose also? There's the moose. All right, go back the other way. Well, I guess it doesn't matter from this point. And we'll just take a nice shot of them all the way up. And there you are, your cues. And there is, stop, Filax. This guy is 75, but he moves too fast for me. And there's your cue maker.
Man, 76.
76, excuse me. He told me I could have one of his cues if he dies young the other day.
That's right. If I die before 95, you get one.
I hope you enjoyed the video, Mr. Morrison, and thank you, Woody.
No problem.